Good afternoon, YouTube. I'm in Englewood, Ohio. This was their former Kmart, which I had filmed numerous times, as you guys know, over the last 2 years. This store closed back in February, and you guys know I filmed this store, before. But so anyway, last weekend, well, not this last weekend, but the weekend before, first weekend of September, I had a video that went viral of a Kmart that is still in business that's in Hillsboro, Ohio. And I contacted a few business people about the article. I contacted a few people that run retail magazines and retail sites that are on the internet. And one person I contacted, Haley Peterson of Business Insider, I tweeted her my video, and she was shocked about the way Kmart, used the old form, the way they used like white curtains to cover the old empty part of the Super Kmart. Now, this was never a Super Kmart, of course, but yeah, this store closed about 2 months ago, around the first week of July. I think it was the second weekend of July. I think it was around July 8th, 9th, or 10th. But so anyway, there was also another article that had nothing to do with me, of course. This was from the Detroit Free Press that mentioned, how some of the former Kmarts up in Detroit have been repurposed. And one of the frequent buyers that's mentioned of their properties as Kroger's, how Kroger's will sometimes buy a former marketplace and turn it into buy a former Kmart and turn it into a marketplace. And so anyway, I personally feel good about this article that was just shared, and the way I look at it, it's like this, people. I just simply have stated the truth about Kmart being a declining company. And ultimately right here, they aren't going to get anybody in here up in Englewood, Ohio, at this former store. Rural King had expressed some interest in moving in here, or the city of Englewood or somebody contacted them about some interest of some kind, but they never. But Rural King declined to actually move in here, which was a smart business decision on their part. So anyway, this was the old garden shop. I don't even know when that was last used. That would have been their old automotive center. Not like they would have worked on cars here for a long time. So anyway, Rural King has a location already in the northern suburbs of Dayton, about 7, 8, 10 miles away from here, over in Heber Heights. And Rural King's not a very big outfit per se, and they said, well, we like to keep our stores at least 20 or 30 miles apart, so they didn't want to move in here. They felt like it would have been too close to the Heber Heights store, which is understandable because you don't want to oversaturate the market. And Rural King has moved into several former Kmarts. I've heard around 80 or 90. I know within the Dayton region or Southwest Ohio region, the one in Heber Heights, which was a former Kmart. The one in Xenia, that was not a former Kmart. That was a Walmart, the old regular Walmart. Then the Kmart that was in Greenville, they moved in there. And also in Springfield, Ohio too, I heard they moved in there. And something about they moved down into Lebanon, which is south of Dayton, as well. So it's very interesting, you know, that article from the Free Press, it mentioned how some former Kmarts have been repurposed as they were at excellent locations, which they were in good locations. All the ones that I had been to, they were all in very good and high traffic locations. They just didn't make any money because they quit caring about their customers. Whether or not that's the CEO's fault, you know, with Eddie Lampert, that's up to you to, you know, decide. But he has been cited, you know, for this. But as I said before, nothing good comes from having a store like Kmart that was just in here floundering the last several years until their lease expired, like it ultimately did. Of course, you know. Nothing good, you know, comes from that, you know. Inside the store, they've actually kind of, you know, blacked off, you know, like the old windows right through here. You can't even see through those old windows anymore. They've pretty much put like a protective black coating on them, I guess, to hide the emptiness of the store. But they aren't going to be able to get anything here for long time. And it's very interesting, getting back to the subject of the Hillsboro Kmart store. I do see a couple overhead lights on in there. I don't know how many lights are on within the actual building themselves, but I guess that's what they used, I guess, to unlock the door when they were open for business. But it's very interesting, you know, after my video of the Hillsboro Kmart went viral thanks to people like Haley Peterson after I contacted her over Twitter. And but you know the video's got a lot of dislikes, and which, you know what, I don't care, because personally I look at it like this: if people are liking your stuff, that means obviously, you know, you may not be doing something right, or maybe you are. But the fact that people, you know, so many people disliked that video, you actually know what, people, that's fine with me, because it lets me know that I'm telling the truth, that I'm putting my message out there on what's really, you know, going on. And you know, and also, you know, the excuses that people were making about the Hillsboro store, about when I made the video about why they weren't busy, were just absolutely comical. Some people were using the excuse, all it's because we have our county fair going on. I'm like, please give me a frickin' break. I'm sure Walmart, if I would have passed by Walmart in town, or Kroger's after I made that video, I'm sure Kroger's and Walmart would have been packed regardless of a county fair or not. So it's just stupidity, and just the excuses that are used are just absolutely comical. Because the state fair, I mean, a county fair is not going to stop your store from being busy if you're a good store. But anyway, I just wanted to, you know, but, you know, as I mentioned earlier, you know, nothing good comes from having these stores like Kmart in here till their lease expires, which clearly happened here because it's attached to a shopping center, so they clearly rode it out till their lease expired. But and you know, this was also the last store that they had in the northern Dade suburbs. They're only down to 2 stores left, but they're getting ready to close one down next March, the store over by the Green and Beaver Creek, because their lease is up, and then the one on Woodman Drive, it sounds like they're going to hang on to that one for a little while, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, YouTube, I'm going to get ready to wrap it up. So, you know, so regardless of who watches these videos, I don't care. I will continue to tell you the truth about issues like this. Kmart is a big shithole, and they've left a big mess. And you know, there's many people that have to bear the responsibility, not just Kmart or the CEO, but also the landlord here should have kicked them out a long time ago. And the city should have been saying, you know what, it's time you guys, you know, get Kmart out of here, get a more viable tenant. But that's it for this one.